Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Punched Out Thursday with Kathy, Krista, myself, and Dorothy. I am going to make a bag card today instead of making a layout. And I'm going to use this gingham paper, and I think it's called Fresh Goods. It's kind of old. I got it at Big Lots, a package for like $3, and I think I'm down to one or two sheets. I have used it so much over the years. I really like it. I've never used the opposite side, just the gingham. And here I'm cutting 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 again. I'll have that little scrap left, and then I'm going to cut this one, and it's going to be 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then the last one is why you want to make sure you have, like, this one is a repetitive pattern, and you want to cut it at 1 fraction less than 3 1/2. So it'll be 3 3/8, and then you keep the other part too, and it's the same size. Something repetitive or solid is really good for this. So you don't have anything you're going to worry about going to be cut off on that last two cuts. I'm putting faux stitching all around the outside of these, and I'm also going to do inking with the Tea-Dye ink, Distress ink. And here I'm showing you that's going to go inside the bag, and it says 4.75, and I'm showing it's a little small, but 5 square would be perfect for it. I just wanted to use the scrap that I had. When you're inking the bag, you want to make sure you ink the center folds and also the edge of that flap that's at the bottom of the bag. You want everything inked so that when it shows that all of it's looking vintage. If you're wanting a vintage look, I am. This is for a card for my niece. I'm going to put a bracelet on the one side, and then the other side a gift card. This is twine or jute one. I don't remember which one it is. And I'm just going to glue it down on the outside of the bag. I made sure I did it first because if I don't, sometimes I get carried away and start putting the paper down, and I have to pull it back up to put that on there. So you want to try to get it first. And I'm just using the ATG gun to put the cardstock on here. Normally I use wet glue, but I thought it'd be quicker for the video if I just go ahead and use the ATG. The wet glue will make it sturdier in case they open it very often. And when you're cutting your twine, you want to make sure that you have it long enough to make a bow with to close your bag when you get done. I'm going to do the inside next, and I always put the flap from the bottom of the bag on the left-hand side. That way my gift is on the right-hand side. And here I'm putting that one piece in, and I didn't ink the bottom part of that because I knew it wasn't going to show anyway. You want to make sure you get glue in the flaps here. You want it to be flat against the back so that you won't have too much that's poofed out there when they go to open it. They can just slide their hand in and get it. But of course you can also put a divider there and have two spots with two different things. I've done that before. I am going to go ahead and put my cardstock on the inside, and then we're going to start the punch art, which is the embellishment part of making this card. And, well, I have fun doing this part too, but the punch art's even more fun. I'm putting the last one on here now, and then you see the punches over there to the left. They are the ones that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using Creative Memories oval cutters. I'm going to use the two middle ones and also the red cutter. I am not using the green. I'm showing it to you, but I'm not going to be using it. The brown right there, it is cut at, if you were to use punches, because this is Punched Out Thursday, if you were to use an oval punch, you would want 2 3/4 for the brown one, and then 1 3/4 for the black one. I do not have any oval punches. And the reason I don't is because I had these forever, and I've used them over and over. I do have dies that are stitched, which makes this really cute. But my daughter borrowed them off of me months ago, 6 months ago, maybe 7. and has not returned them yet. Every time I ask her about them, well, they're on my desk at work. So, as you can see, I'm not using them for my card today. But I am going to use punches on my reindeer. Those are the only two things that I'm going to use the creative memory cutters for. But if you look up punch art here on YouTube, they will use dies over and over again, and it's still called punch art. Yes, because technically you're punching them out with the die. I took and punched out his nose, and I used a 1/2 inch circle. And now I'm doing the teeth, and it's the 3/4 inch circle. And I didn't put my paper all the way down so that the bottom would be straight across, and then I cut it in half. And I'm going to put 2 teeth at the top of his mouth so that he can look like he's really getting into his singing. I'm going to cut now a tongue. And if you notice, the red is different from the red on his nose, because I thought, well, it's in his mouth and it don't need to be as bright. So I found that piece of scrap and I did make it a little bit lighter in color. I'm just going to glue it down. I'm going to glue it down towards the bottom and just a little bit off center. I want it to look like he's really getting into his singing, like maybe he's tilting his head back and forth and dancing, you know. So I am making it just a little off on purpose. And I showed that die there, and it's Tim Holtz Elegant Flourishes. And I used the smallest one. If you look on Pinterest, like I said, you'll find hundreds of singing reindeer. And most of them use leaves, but some of them use other things, any kind of swirl thing. They get pretty creative with the antlers. And this is my favorite one to use. I have used a couple other things, and I've cut them out by hand. And I saw on Pinterest where somebody used twine. So you just get creative in making your antlers. I am cutting out a triangle now with the Martha Stewart pendant punch, and that's just going to make a neck. When I'm making a 5x7 card with this reindeer, I've got a couple of more inches because this is like 5¼ by 5¼ and I can make a part of a body and have a songbook there also. But as short as this is, and as big as my antlers are, I won't be able to do that on this one. I'm taking my white gel pen and I'm going to highlight his nose and his tongue to add just a little bit more character to him. I am going to decorate the inside with punch art too. And I'm using the Martha Stewart bow punch. And I do have 2 bow punches, so you could do this on a smaller scale. But this one seems small enough to me, especially when I was working with it. I was thinking, man, I should have got my tweezers out. But I kept going instead. I taken my bow, and instead of my tails being straight out, I have bent them over, and I did put glue on that. It does look a little popped up, but I'll push it back down. And I'm putting the other part of the bow together, and I'm just going to glue it all just like I would normally a bow. And there I got a little glue on there from my thumb. I got a little bit messy with this project. I am going to use that punch there, and I think it's called a 1/4 inch punch. It's a regular size office punch, and then the 1-inch punch. I'm also going to punch out the holly, and that is embossed paper that I'd used for another project and saved the scraps so I could use it again. And I'm also punching out the berries in red. I will lose 2 of them, so yeah, I'll have to punch them out again. I am instead of putting the center part to the bow there, I put a little round nose, and that other part's going to be a head. This is going to be a Santa. And I'll tell you right now, I only found this one on Pinterest. I wasn't hunting for it. I just happened to see it while I'm scrolling down looking at other things. And I thought, oh, that's cute. They used a bow. Well, when I went back to look for it to see if there's anything else I needed to know, I did not find it. So I am just kind of winging it here. I vaguely remember what it looked like and know they used the bow, so that's what I'm working with. I'm fussy cutting around this. I'd punched other stuff out earlier, so I just saved the scraps, but I did show you the punch that I used, and it's one from Hobby Lobby. When they had that sale and everything was marked down a couple of months ago, I got this and a few other things. And the other day I said I only had that one scallop punch, and then I got to thinking I should have bought the one at Hobby Lobby. They had one at Hobby Lobby. Well, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I did buy me one at Hobby Lobby. So I went to the car and looked, and sure enough, it had fell out of the bag and was in the back of the car. And I usually, if I go to Hobby Lobby, pick up my groceries at Walmart next. And they had moved things around to make my groceries fit, I guess. And it had gotten lost out. And the bad thing is, it's the exact same size as my other one, but the scallops are smaller. So I do have a variance there. I took the holly berry part and punched out these eyes, so I'd have a couple of eyes. I do have a 1/8 inch punch also, and it makes really tiny dots. And that berry makes them just a little bit bigger, so I wanted to use the berry so his eyes would be a little bit bigger, and I could put a little bit of my white gel pen on there. I'm tucking the holly leaf underneath his beard, underneath his beard, and I'm putting the 3 berries on there. It kind of looks like one of the berries is his mouth, so I think if I make another one, I'm going to move the berries over just a little bit, so it won't look like his mouth, or I'll add a mouth, one or the other. But yeah, that is so, I just thought it was so cute, and I gotta make that. So if you have the die set and it's bigger, you can even make a bigger one. The last thing that I'm going to put on here is the Merry Christmas, and that die was from Cat Scrappiness, and I think it's called Brushed Stroke Merry Christmas, and it's a real reasonable price. Well, at least it was when I got it a few years ago, but I think they still have it. I think the last time I looked at stuff, it was still in there. And I put it on a 5-inch doily so to show up better on, on the gingham. It wasn't going to show up very good. Oh, and this is very important. Make sure you put glue on each end there, because you want to make sure your gift card stays in there. But that's it. That's my bag card. And I did a video on this years ago, and I used stickers, so I will try to find it and leave a link in case you want to check that out, where you're using stickers instead of punch start, but I'm going to encourage you to try the punch start instead. And I did use that gingham paper on the other one too. I started to use something else on this, but I thought, boy, I really like that gingham. It's sturdy, and yeah, I didn't want to tear into my brand new Echo Park papers though either for Christmas papers. I don't even know if they had anything in there that was a print that I would want to use that I could go in any direction with for my last couple of cuts. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check out Kathy, Krista, and Dorothy's Punched Out Thursday and see what they created today. I'm sure it'll be awesome. And if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'm going to be having a giveaway soon, so be sure and check back for that. As soon as I hit 1,000, I think it was like, when I looked this morning, it was like 19 is all I needed. So yeah, we'll have a giveaway then. But thank y'all so much for watching, and have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.